Namaste and very welcome, Mirabai Ceiba, for this little interview. And maybe at the beginning, I'd like you to introduce yourself. Who are you and who's Mirabai Ceiba?
Well, we are a duo, one could say, a musical duo who we met like 20 years ago in Scotland and started became we became a couple, and then but Marcus is from Germany, I'm from Mexico, so we had this gap of time and space between us, and we both were related to music already in our own path. So it's somehow presented music presented itself as an opportunity to create together, to have something else than just being a couple, something creative, like a path, and also it presented itself as a good bridge for us to unite our worlds because we came from, yeah, two different worlds far apart from each other, and none of us was willing to establish in one of those worlds. So music helped us to create a new world that unites those worlds. And um, so that's what we've been doing from the beginning of our relationship, in the same time as making a family, having children, and so it became like a very unique lifestyle that we've been living for the past 20
Wow.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds very exciting. So music was really a necessity, like it was necessary to close that gap. It sounds like it, does it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a
Culture,
way.
cultural
We
gap.
didn't know about it, but we figured it out when we were doing it. That actually, when we were like playing music together, we kind of felt there is this connection, deep connection, and which would shut down all our, yeah, considerations and arguments about long distance relationships and is it working or is it not working or whatever. In the moment of playing music together, this was all gone, and this became a little bit our, yeah, it is the like a third identity. I think a relationship always, when you get into a relationship, you always look for that dream together, for that vision together.
Mm.
It's not just for the sake of being in a relationship, but also how can you complement each other yeah, how can you in a relationship fulfill something inside of you
Mm.
which you're not able to fulfill yourself or to see yourself. And I think so the partner is always a um, this gate, this door
Mm.
into that part of you what you want to fulfill. And I think that the music crystallized in that way for both of us as a path which we wanted to live, because it gives us a lot of freedom. And I think
Mm.
for me, um, growing up in East Germany, and then yeah, I think for me it was extremely important, and it still is important to be free
Mm.
of a job, free of yeah, of a boss, free of a structure. I couldn't make an 8 hour job a day or something like that. It's just not like, I never wanted that. And before I was an actor
Mhm.
in Berlin, and doing some work with with movies and theater and all that. But it's always felt this dependence. You're, as an actor, you're so dependent on castings. You're dependent on the project. You hope that it's a good project. You hope it's a good director. So with the music, I realized totally freedom. We played in the streets of Barcelona. This was our ground where we explored that new space completely free of expectations and anything, just like on the streets with the audience directly there.
Mm. So it really created something bigger than just one of you, like the two of us of you created something really, yeah, it's just something bigger, doesn't it? It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Wow.
vehicle, let's say, a
Yeah.
plane, a, a, um, a magical carpet to fly on.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, how something like music can do that. Often you're always in your head, thinking about things, and you're considering, oh, can you do that, or can you do that, or should I do it, or should I not? And once you go on a different level, like music, it all vanishes. Like the head is just gone, and but in your heart it's okay, and then in your heart it's fine the way you're doing things, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
lovely. How would you describe your style, your musical style that you've created over that long period of time? I mean, it's very special. It must be very special. How would you describe it?
Well, it started with well, just bringing in elements that we both had, and I was previously before him in a group where I was part of a little choir of women, and we sang a lot of chants from the world and arranged them instrumentally, and then also have the background of Kundalini yoga community. So there was a lot of mantra. So we started off with those elements, and Marcus played guitar, and I also started playing the harp, and yeah, we just started off putting together little chants, little songs, and harmonizing them
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And throughout the years, we our first album, we one element that was very key to us, or very very interesting, was including cello into our
Okay.
music.
Yeah.
And that cello, and also flute, and that started giving it a kind of journey. And then later we started working with a producer. His name is Jamshid Sharifi, and we made several albums with him where we explored a lot with string quartets and piano and cello. And so always a thing that has kept defining our music is this chanting,
Mhm.
um, chanting or singing songs, but also chanting chants and mantras that we couldn't possibly sing with people, because this is very powerful, very beautiful. But also the string world is very present. Um, String arrangements, and strings have this quality of making these tapestries of sound that touch fibers inside, and have a magnitude also in the, I don't know, spirit world. I don't know how to say it. They take you far. Like these string arrangements, string layers, is
Mm,
something that we're both definitely very passionate for.
mm,
Because with strings, you can do rhythms, you can do tapestries, you can do
mm,
a lot of playful, uh, crispy energy.
mm,
So yeah, we could say we've been focusing on on this, on all the ways one can weave strings and singing.
mm,
And of course, there's a lot of music that influences us that we like. Marcus also has gone deep into that world of strings with Aukai, which is another project
mhm,
that we have, that he has, and that again has influenced our music. So
mm,
the work he has done has brought also some new inspiration for the way we play music, because we're not only kirtan chanters as such, or singer songwriters, but we also are lovers of the instrumental
mm,
tapestries and worlds.
mm.
So
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I'm a violinist myself. That's my first instrument, the violin,
Mm-hmm.
and I use it a lot in my music as well. I use the viola as well, and I love the different layers and the harmonies you can do with your voice as well. Put another harmony and another harmony, and it just pops
Mm.
up like a big orchestra, even though it's just, say, two instruments and voice or something like that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
really, yeah, yeah, it's lovely.
I mean,
um,
the thing that we came to the Kundalini yoga world was for several reasons. One was that Angelica was connected to that world since she's born, because her mother was related to the 3HO community in the United
mm,
States and the summer festivals and all that. But it was also at the time 2004 or 2005 when we released our first album that they had just created a record label called Spirit Voyage Records, and Sananam Kaur was the first artist signed to that label.
Mhm.
And I think it was actually created initially for her to release music for her, but then they decided to take other artists on, and we got offered
Mm.
a record contract because we used to go to these the French European Yoga Festival or the Summer Solstice Festival. We used to be part of that. It was a wonderful experience, massive people there and community and tribe and all that. And obviously, we started very soon to compose our own mantra versions,
Mm.
which then we got offered a record agreement with Spirit Voyage Records, and this shaped our path for a long time in that direction mostly. Although Mirabai Ceiba itself, as we said, did not start out as a kirtan or
Mm.
chanting band. More like it were in the beginning we were singing from chants from all over the world. We were also singing um, our own music already. We were composing our little Spanish songs and English songs. It was like this. Basically, our style is what we encounter in life. It's very much how we are. You know, we
Mm.
live in this world and that world. We are not defined German. We are not defined Mexican. We are not defined yogis. We are not defined Native Americans. You know, it's we are all like every element is in it.
And it's so nice to be able to unite it with music, isn't it? To have something to bring everything together and create, yeah, your own life, your own
Exactly.
way of living. Yeah,
Yes.
it sounds lovely.
Hmm.
Yeah. How did you? I mean, the last 2 years have been very challenging and completely different to what we were all used to. How
Hmm.
how did you manage to keep your music alive and keep the connection to your audience while not being able to play really live and do concerts and go on tour? How did you do
Yeah,
that?
we didn't we didn't we didn't keep that connection very much alive, obviously, because we
Okay.
couldn't do concerts.
Mm.
But I also feel our audience. Even there's a break now, I can totally feel it, and I know it's like good friends somehow, like family, like friends. You haven't seen them for 2, 3 years, but in the moment we will come together and we will recognize each other, and we will realize that we have been connected all the time.
Mhm.
I think it's also because people probably listen our music, and we kind of feel it. we didn't we didn't jump on the online thing too much. We have done now one online concert just recently in a cenote cave in Mexico
Mm.
because the opportunity came to us, and we said, okay, let's do one release kind of thing for our album, The Quiet Hour.
Mm.
But we have tried in the beginning to do online festivals a little bit because we got invited, but we felt like it's not really what we are looking for. And
Mm.
if it's all online now, then we better dedicate our time to something else, like recording music, being with our children, or
Mm.
hiking the cliffs of Moher, or like yeah,
Mm.
we're really like folks in with the people. This
Mm.
is what we
Yeah.
like to do, and if it's not possible, then well, then we have to wait.
Okay. And
Mm.
how was the experience, the concert in the cave? Was it then, was it still good for you? And could you feel that there was an audience, or was it still very strange?
I mean, since we created the ambient,
Mm.
cave is a gorgeous place, really, really special, sacred,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it has some magical, underground waters
Mm.
coming out from there, blue, but the cave is dark, and we filled it with candles, and so if you're, we had this beautiful moment actually of
Mm.
just singing to the Mother
Stones.
Earth, to the
Oh,
cave.
wow. Mm.
And so in that way we could connect
Mm.
the essence with which we want to connect when we play with people. So the cave kind of created this space that it's not that we imagined we had an audience, and in
Mm.
itself when we've done little online things it feels very empty
Yeah.
just doing something before the
Yeah.
phone or the computer. That's why we decided not to do it, because it's
Yeah.
like you're doing as if you're in front of people, but you're not.
Mm.
Even if
Mm-hmm.
people might be listening to you through the computer, and same, you're doing as if you're listening to a concert, but you're actually looking at your phone. It's
I know it is a very
strange
strange
world, but
experience. Yeah.
in that sense it felt like actually doing a nice video, filming
Okay.
it beautifully, and it's as if you sit down and watch, even family members or friends of mine, my family, put this big TV and made themselves cozy. It was a more formal
Mm.
viewing than the phone Zoom thing, which is so popular nowadays.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it did feel nice. I
Okay.
mean,
So
it's not a
yeah.
thing that is very sustainable because it's a lot of work.
No, it's also not energetically.
and no,
It's
and
it's
not,
not what it was an
yeah.
occasion. It was a special occasion. It was a special cave. It was like a cave which maybe many people don't have access to. It's not like a cave where it's not a public cave.
Mm.
It's a private cave. It's a private cenote and very special energy there. And we said, okay, let's do something more like doing a video or something, or maybe a studio session.
Mm.
But certainly, it's not comparable with a live concert, and I think it's super important also for humans to realize, wait a second, this online thing is not replacing at all the live experience. It is another thing. It's another media, but it's not a replacement.
Exactly. It's better
And
than nothing, but the live thing you can't really
if
compare.
somebody wants to
Yeah.
do it, it's great. It's like watching a video, watching a film, watching Netflix, watching an online concert. But having a live concert is really something. There's something which happens, which
Mm.
is chemistry, and this chemistry is what really is transforming. I
Mm.
think an online concert cannot transform anything because it's just not, at least not in the same way. It's just not that you feel it in the same way.
Right,
Mm.
because it's more like an entertaining
Mm.
little while that
Hmm.
you offer people to, have a nice time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true that what we want or what we experience in concerts with the people in the same time with this chanting is, yeah, a whole different level.
It's making like
For
making
sure.
a good meal or making a bread or whatever. It has this ingredient, and every audience, every person who came to that concert is part of that ingredient with its spirit, with its soul, with its sweat and his smiles and tears and whatever. And this creates a chemistry. This creates
Mm.
a thing where we feel things on a subtle level, which is not only the music, because the music I think is only one part of the whole creation.
Mm. Yeah, especially with that kind of music because it has that spiritual level. It's just something different than yeah, listening to I don't know, some other kind of music, I think, and it creates a different space and a different energy and vibes if you're live with all the other people. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, unfortunately, you won't be here this year. We were really looking forward to your concert, but you will be hopefully coming to Germany next year. And as if I'm right, remembering that you have been to the ashram before, you gave a concert there before at the festival. Is that right?
Right. I don't know how many years ago, but it's
Like,
It's
a bunch of years
yeah,
ago.
a bunch of years ago.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe six,
Okay.
seven.
More,
Yeah.
Mm.
maybe even 10. I don't know.
No,
It's
Pemi was like 4.
okay.
So that was
Okay.
like eight,
8 years
8
ago.
years ago.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
I remember a picture that, where both girls came with your mom, and they are on the van
Right, and there's a picture actually where
where
you are
I'm
in the
doing
grass,
yoga with
acro
them.
yoga with them. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
ashram. Yeah,
So
or
Pemi was
in
like around
Bad Meinberg. Yeah.
4.
Yes,
Hmm.
so it's a quite a long time ago.
Yes, yes.
That is
So,
a long time ago, yeah.
so we still have to practice some patience until next year then, and hopefully you all the concerts you planned this year, have they all been postponed then? Is that what?
No, the May concerts, yes,
Ah, okay.
because at the time where you kind of have to get into action and say, okay, are we doing this or not? Things were still in very insecure, especially in Germany.
Mm,
So therefore, many of these concerts, like the Ludwigsburg concert, is next year, and in other events. So we decided, well, it doesn't, we're in Mexico. It doesn't. We cannot fly for one concert to Germany in May and then wait until July to continue our tour.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
So
understandable.
we will do events in the summer. We will definitely do beginning of July a few concerts,
Hmm.
like small concerts outside. This is also a new thing which we have discovered for us, which we kind of really enjoy as a new kind of outlet for us to do nature concerts outside.
Yeah.
We call them under the tree concerts.
Mhm.
Um, because we really feel like connected to nature. Our music is much inspired in nature,
Mm.
and realizing that sometimes a concert hall and a theater or something mm, cannot really do the same thing as when you play music outside and the birds
Mm.
are singing and the river is running or the wind is blowing in the branches.
Mm.
So we will do a few like these smaller outdoor
Mm.
events,
Yeah.
and then we will do some festivals. And we have our mountain samadhi retreat in France,
Hmm.
which we do every year in South France in a beautiful place. And then Gailey has a women's retreat in the same place.
Mm.
So we have a few events coming in the summer, and then we come
Okay.
back to Mexico, and
Yeah.
then in
Have
next
you
year.
next year? Have you any dates in Germany in July?
Yes,
Yeah. Any?
yes. It's near Darmstadt. We will have an
Okay.
event. It's
So.
it's a, it's called Lindenhof Oberramstein. It's a beautiful Hof, also
Hmm.
farm or something like that. I think a horse farm or something like that. And they have a beautiful outdoor meadow.
Mm.
Where we will have an event.
Okay, so that might be um,
Meaning,
an event to
just
go to if it's for people who can't see you in May, they might go to that in July or something. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
that's
It would be
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Mhm.
maybe one last question at the end of this short little interview that I ask everybody, dead or alive, who would you like to play a concert with? Which musician, like who is your, I don't know, your influence or your favorite musician you'd love to be on stage with and create a concert experience with?
Hmm. Wow.
That's a hard one.
That's a really one. Yeah.
Because there's many musicians, of
Yeah.
course, that we admire and love, but whether we want to play a concert with them, that's a different thing.
Yeah, I
um,
mean, I yeah, I think as Gailey mentioned about the strings, yeah, it would be something in this direction.
Mhm.
Um, I kind of dream a little bit of having, and this is just recently. Before I was often dreaming of cellos and orchestra and all that, and also percussions. But recently, I'm dreaming a little bit of this kind of interweaving between um, guitars, charangos, harp, and we are lovers of Matadeiros music. Matadeiros
Okay. Yeah,
was a band
Portuguese, isn't it? Matadeiros.
huh? From
Mhm.
Portugal.
Portuguese, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, this was a kind of, it's a little nostalgic, our relationship to it, because this was the music we were listening when we got together. And it's kind of very much our thing, like between the harp and the guitar, is very much inspired or dreaming in that same direction of that,
Mm.
like like rivers running,
Mm.
it feels to us like waters flowing. And
Mm.
so in that sense, I would say to create something in that way, like of
Mm.
maybe two, three guitars, different kinds,
mm.
and it will, maybe we'll even will realize it. Maybe we do it next year in the Yoga Vidya, coming with some musicians in that
Extra
way,
guitars.
some
Wow, yeah.
bonies, some
Oh,
charangos,
yeah.
like having this kind of orchestric thing out of guitars, let's say, or
Wow.
string instruments in that sense.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. That would be something really to look forward to. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for your time and yeah, we be patient, and we'll see you in next year then at the Yoga Vidya Music
Yes,
Festival in
definitely.
We're
May.
absolutely looking forward to it as
Oh
well.
We need to
yes,
celebrate very
exactly.
Big time.
much.
Big time.
Okay, thank you, Mirabai Ceiba. Namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you.